The Golden Globes are a mess. They're already a bit of a joke due to their unconventional choices. 2 years ago, there wasn't even a ceremony due to some internal investigations. This year, they were bought out by another company, so we have no clue how the ceremony is going to look. And now, apparently, they're doing a Best Box Office Achievement category and 6 nominees per category, which we didn't know before recording this. So even though it's kind of a dumpster fire, it's still fun to talk about, and we're still looking at the Gold Derby odds to figure out the early frontrunners. So let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar vs. Trivia here, joined by Thomas, as always. And let's get into this Golden Globes Gold Derby preview. Lots of things to look at here. It's very interesting. The split between drama and comedy, always fun to take a look at. So let's get into it. All right, so looking at film drama first, it's no surprise. Oppenheimer, the clear frontrunner, Killers of the Flower Moon, also there, Maestro, Past Lives, Anatomy of a Fall as the top 5. And this just makes a lot of sense.
I mean, these are the Oscars 5 in terms of what we're looking at. I could potentially see Anatomy of a Fall not being necessarily Golden Globes thing. I think the top 4 are fairly safe. They're all happening. I think the only one that could slip with Anatomy of a Fall. However, if you look at what's below it, like Origin, I don't see happening for the Golden Globes. Saltburn, I don't see happening for the Golden Globes. There aren't many other options they could be going for. Zone of Interest, I definitely don't think happening.
If Anatomy of a Fall is not happening, it wouldn't be for Zone of Interest.
No, so I think you're looking at something like May, December actually being 6. I know Gold Derby clearly disagrees, but my 6 probably would be May, December. However, I would maybe be predicting these top 5. I do agree, and completely agreed. Oppenheimer is easily the favorite in this category, and I think we'll easily take it.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, something that isn't even in the top 10, like All of Us Strangers or Rustin. I think.
Yeah, Rustin could watch out for Rustin at the Globes potentially.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't understand why Origin is so high on Gold Derby. No, I don't really get that. But regardless of some of the 6 through 10 options, this top 5 just makes a lot of sense for Globes drama. So into drama actress, Carrie, I think makes a lot of sense. You have Sandra Huller here as well, who, even if Anatomy of a Fall doesn't maybe happen, I think it makes sense for the Globes to do her.
Yeah, but I mean, I actually think it could help Anatomy of a Fall's case. Like, if you're watching it, you're nominating the actress, you could nominate the film as well. So I think there is that working for her.
And then they do Annette Bening, Lily Gladstone, Natalie Portman, no Greta Lee. I feel like Greta Lee's in here.
I feel like Greta Lee's in, and I think it's just over Annette Bening. I don't think Annette Bening will happen really anywhere other than potentially SAGs, but even I'm not predicting it for SAGs. So yeah, I think it's just you're looking at the list, but with Greta Lee subbed in and Annette Bening taken off. Because I do think Natalie Portman, there is a good chance the Golden Globes at least take to May, December, and Natalie Portman is the type of person who they might like to nominate from that film. So yes, I would agree with 6 out of the 5. So
I honestly think that Kaylee Spaney could also be a decent shout as well.
Potentially. I mean, this is the thing with the drama categories in terms of acting. You're always looking at sort of a more stacked field. We'll get to comedy actors and comedy actor and actress, but a lot of the major contenders will be here.
These other options, like on else, I really don't think will happen. Helen Mirren in gold and Julia Roberts leave the world behind. Like, come on.
No, but I do still think you've got a sort of selection of 7 to pick from. And I could see Kaylee Spaney getting in very easily. I don't think that is out of the realms of possibility, especially after a big win at Venice. So
I mean, and Annette Bening isn't out of the realm of possibility, but I wouldn't have her in. Like I said, I think it's just Greta over Annette, looking at this current lineup. Looking at drama actor now, I mean, and this is basically like you just take up Paul Giamatti and it's just the Oscars 5. I mean,
you do.
Probably winning, right? Like,
most likely. It's interesting how the narrative has switched sort of early on in the year. We were thinking Bradley Cooper will be the one from Maestro to win and complete the sort of makeup trend, and that will be that. Whereas Carey Mulligan is the one that sort of, won't win but will get nominated. That seems to completely switch, and I agree. I think Carey Mulligan is a lot more likely to win than Bradley Cooper. Even here, I think Carey Mulligan is a lot more likely to happen. But yeah, I'd agree with this top 5 generally. Yeah, because you're looking at other options and you've got slim pickings. Joaquin Phoenix, The Bowden, not happening. Barry Keoghan, not happening. So yeah, the 5 might just be not like there.
Andrew Scott makes sense. I could see them just doing something entirely random like Adam Driver. Like
yeah, or Michael Fassbender from either of his films doesn't have to be the killer, could be Next Goal Wins even. The Golden Globes are the type of ceremony to go for Next Goal Wins.
Right. But no, I feel comfortable with this 5 as of now that they have.
Agreed. Agreed with the order as well. Actually, everyone agreed.
Yeah. This is solid from Gold Derby. Okay, into film comedy musical. Poor Things or Barbie? What's winning?
Poor Things, I think, will win. I think Poor Things will win, and this will set up. We've got Poor Things versus Oppenheimer for picture. most of the season. That's where I'm leaning towards right now. Barbie, I just don't know if it can win
I think
the
there's a world where
picture
Barbie takes
awards.
this.
I think there is a world. I would say the holdovers is more likely than Barbie, though. Here, I would have Barbie number 3.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think the holdovers could definitely win here, potentially.
Maybe. Yeah. Then the color rebel being there. Yeah, makes sense. American Fiction. I don't know.
I'm not convinced about that. I think Air stands more of a chance, to be honest. Like,
If Bottoms
yeah,
happens,
Bottoms could happen. I mean, it is the Globe comedy musical. Like, they do like
yeah,
going
they
for
like
things that are
comedies.
explicitly
I would
comedies and explicitly musicals. So, and
die.
Bottoms, if you're looking at it, Air, I mean, it's a comedy, obviously, but it's not
Yeah.
explicitly a comedy in the same way Bottoms is. American Fiction, from what I've heard, is a comedy, but potentially not in the same way that Bottoms is. So I do think there is a chance it slips in. I wouldn't be predicting it. I would be going for Air, maybe even American Fiction, actually. I could see American Fiction happen.
Yeah. Everything else, though, I don't really like. Astrid City or There Goes Me, Margaret Wonka. I don't really think this happening. Next
Yeah.
School Wins, I think not even being in the top 10 is a bit of a disservice. Like, yes,
Potentially,
it's
but
supposed to be
it didn't
bad,
receive good reactions. It didn't receive good reactions, so.
but the Golden Globes nominated music.
Well, that is true. That is true. They're a changed branch. They brought in some new members. They're a changed branch. Well, I guess we'll see.
Okay, we'll see. But yeah, no, any sort of Bottoms attention here, like, I would. Well, I want. You don't understand how desperately I want that to happen. Like, love that movie so much. Okay. On to actress now. Probably Emma Stone.
Probably. Weirdly, this is quite a strong lineup. Like, if Fantasia Barrino, we mentioned Colourburn before, it's an interesting case. It's one of those films that released in December, so we're not really going to get concrete thoughts on it until then. Like, potentially
I
it
think the
is
nominations
an acting
happen
win sweep.
before the
Yeah.
film comes out.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. But either way, I think those top 3 are all getting in. I agree. I think Jennifer Lawrence would make a lot of sense. In terms of that 5th spot, I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know if I would actually have Jennifer. Like, I think the top 6, and they're a bit lower on the list actually, but it would be Io DeBerry and Halle Bailey that are also there, because we know how much they love to do Disney live action remake leads. I think Halle Bailey could make a lot of sense there. Io DeBerry, she could very well be winning a Golden Globe that night for The Bear on the TV side. And you don't see this happen with the Emmys and the Oscars that much, where like something does well at the Emmys but then the Oscar, but this is the same voting group. And if they like somebody, then that love can cross over. And the fact that Bottoms, we're already talking about it as potentially a contender to get into Best Film Comedy Musical, I think Io could make a lot of sense.
Potentially. And I mean, this is the same sort of logic as there is in the picture category here, where they do like going for solely comedic performances. I think you get that with Jennifer Lawrence, clearly. So that's why I'm thinking that, like, a big name comedic performance, well-received film, that sort of checks all the boxes. I could see someone like I getting in. I might be leaning towards Halle Bailey right now, but equally the options it gives above it are not bad. Like, I wouldn't necessarily go Abby Rutherford, but like, and I wouldn't go Julie Louis-Dreyfus. I think that's very high for her, but
that is really high for Julie. Abby Ryder Fortson could be giving like Elsie Fisher in 8th grade a little bit.
Potentially. I don't know if a film will be as big a hit in general with sort of award ceremonies of 8th grade was. Obviously
probably not
with the Oscars, but in general.
Could be interesting though. The other things, Eve Houston for Florence Sun, I don't think so. Sandra Oh quiz lady, like, just probably not. And if anybody's getting in for Bottoms, it would be Io and not Rachel, I think.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
But yeah, no, it's interesting. These comedy categories are always interesting.
Yeah, they always allow for sort of more rogue shots and some people that are a bit more under the radar to get in, to get exposure, which is nice.
So let's look at comedy musical actor. Gold Derby's got Jeffrey Wright number 1, but like they're level.
Yeah. Yes, I disagree with this. I think Paul Giamatti is almost a shoe in here. Yeah, this is a very weak category though. I mean, when you've got Matt Damon from Air at number 3, you're not doing well in terms of stacking category. Timothy Chalamet from Wonka, I thought he looked really quite bad in the trailer. It could be the sort of showy performance it gets in. Maybe, I don't know. Again, with these sorts of things, you are just guessing. What do the Golden Globes want to strike out today? What do they want to pluck out? And it could be any old thing, especially.
I really don't know who's. Like, I think Timothy Chalamet makes sense.
Exactly.
That could also have screener issues as well, since it's so late.
Potentially.
I think
we've got a clear top 2
here.
Yeah, I think we've got a clear top 2. The rest are completely up in the air.
Like Damon and
they're in
Chalamet
it.
makes sense though, and I think this is probably why Air will get in because Viola probably happens and Damon probably happens, and that's why it gets into
Would make
film
sense. That
companies.
would make sense. Yeah.
Jamie Foxx and
Yeah.
The Burial. I don't understand why that movie wasn't supposed to be that good. Paul Dano, Dumb Money, maybe. I'm
Maybe.
kind of leaning towards Fassbender, honestly. Looking at this list,
Potentially. I mean,
like Gael Garcia Bernal, Cassandra,
yeah,
Nicolas Cage Dream Scenario, Jason Schwartzman, Asterisk. Like,
that's definitely not happening. Yeah, this is an incredibly weak category. It's incredibly weak. I also think Jeffrey Wright definitely getting in here does help American fiction in the
yeah.
comedy musical picture, but that's beside the point. Yeah,
I mean,
weak
Golder only
category.
has 16
Weak
options
category.
for this category as a whole. So, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I'd be leaning towards Fassbender for this 5 slot, but like, Jesus Christ, this is weak.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, looking at supporting actors as a whole, this is interesting. They got Divine Joy Randolph here too. They had her for SAG as well. Maybe Divine Joy Randolph is just becoming a consensus.
It seems that way. Weirdly, it seems that everyone has switched to her. But after the reviews from her, like apparently she's the standout performance in the film.
Yeah.
Either way, I do think we have developed a clear consensus top three. I think Emily Blunt, Daniel Brooks are right there
Yep.
with her. And Daniel Brooks could just very easily turn into a super this year. We just don't know. Jodie Foster, I think, is a rogue shout. It is the type of thing the Globes would do. Didn't they do her for the Mauritanian as well, or something like that? Something ridiculous.
She won.
She won, yeah, exactly. So maybe, I mean, they also did fucking Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot. So who knows?
Yep.
Maybe they do her for Saltburn as well. I don't know. There is a lot they can do with this category as well.
I don't know why Viola's so low. I think that she makes a lot of sense here, honestly, especially if Damon's getting in and the film could be getting in.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And this also seems like the most likely place to do a Color Purple double nom. Yeah, so.
Yeah. I mean, America Ferrera, though, like.
She's still there. I don't know if Globes will be the place to go.
I think it's more likely she gets, like, SAG Critics' Choice as her package.
Agreed.
But, I mean, yeah, I think that Viola should honestly be up by, like, 4, honestly.
Yeah.
And then
probably.
We'll see. As you say, it could make sense for it to be Taraji as the double, though. Looking at supporting actor, again, we talked about this in our SAG video. We got the 4. It's the quadruple R. Robert, Ruffalo, Ryan, and Robert. I think that Gosling's winning here, though.
I think that Gosling's winning. I'm fairly shocked that he's number 3, actually. I think if anywhere Gosling is winning, it's definitely the Golden Globes. It just...
Yeah.
I feel like
even if he isn't winning anywhere else, like...
Exactly. But equally, as you say, yeah, top 4, I think are fairly solid. I think this is a very interesting case of who gets the 5th spot. We've brought up Matt Damon before. I don't know about Golden Globes doing it, especially if they're doing him in lead as well, and we're fairly confident
right,
about that.
Yeah.
Will they double nom him? I'm not sure. I also think the ceremony will go hard on the holdovers, so my prediction would be Dominic Sessa.
I like Sessa here, or Defoe could make sense as a double if that's winning.
Potentially. I'd be leaning towards Sessa, though.
That's fair. Glenn Howerton's here for Blackberry, which I guess people are trying to make that happen.
Yeah, people are trying to run a campaign for him. I don't know if it's entirely worthy, but sure, more power to you.
Everybody else, Melton, Sterling K. Brown, Coleman Domingo, like probably not. Maybe somebody else from Air could sneak in, but I don't know. Maybe. I think it'll probably be some combination of that top 6. Like I'm very high on the Matt Damon train. I think that I feel kind of good about him happening for like the Oscar. This is a place where I'm willing to concede on him, though.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, looking at director here, Nolan probably winning. I think that he's just going to sweep the year, honestly.
Yeah, agreed. I think he's just a director or a sweeper, which is great.
Yep.
I don't see him losing anywhere.
Scorsese, Lanthimos. I like Greta being in here, honestly. They love to do their actors turn directors here.
Yeah, and Greta Gerwig, it's a show.
Big movie, which they like at the Globes.
Exactly,
you know what I'm
they're not going
considering?
for stuff.
Like Bradley Cooper getting in for director here.
He could. I just don't know if Maestro will be that much of a hit anywhere for that to happen anywhere. I just don't think he will.
But if it would happen anywhere, it would be here.
Potentially. I do think Alexander Payne, though, is fine for a nomination here. I don't know why that won't happen. So,
but I like Robert Six, Ben Affleck, I guess. Like Celine Song could be a rogue shout if Past Lives ends up resurging quite strongly.
At Globes, I'm not entirely sure at Globes. It seems like it's smaller.
Like she'd be her package if she were to get the Oscar would probably be like Critics' Choice BAFTA.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
And DJ first feature as well.
And DJ first feature. Yeah.
He should be winning.
Justine Triet, I don't think so. Ridley Scott, what are you doing here, my man? I'm surprised Blitz didn't make the top 10.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, none of these seems very likely now at this point. Now that you scroll down, so.
Yep. No, I really do think it is. Just honestly, like that top 5 makes sense, and then we'll see about Cooper.
Yeah.
Looking at screenplay here, I think Killers of the Flower Moon is taking screenplay.
Really?
That fits so much. The Fablemans won last year.
Yeah, I don't know if Killers of the Flower Moon is that though. I don't know if it is that.
I think it is.
I think it follows with getting 0 wins now at this point. I think that's all
Rather
fine.
Chicago 7.
I don't know if it's that. I think the screenplay is going to be considered too dense by many, from what I've heard. I don't know if it's a winning screenplay, whereas I think you've got a multitude of options that can be considered winning screenplays. I think Poor Things for many is a winning screenplay. Oppenheimer, very high selling screenplay, and it's very showy. Barbie, obviously, we think it's going to win the Oscar screenplay. Holdovers, very strong in screenplay. I don't think Killers will take it. I think it'll get nominated. And I think it will just be this 5.
Yeah, this 5 makes a lot of sense.
But I would have Killers 5.
I'd have it number 1.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
I don't see it as a screenplay film, personally.
I don't know. I just think it makes sense. American Fiction, Past Lives, The Night Before Maestro, Air. Air could, I guess, sneak in.
I think any of these, well, not any of them. Some of them could happen potentially if one of them slips out.
Yeah, but this 5 feels safe right now. Obviously, we'll see what happens, but
yeah,
it feels decent. And then we can take a look at animated feature. So Spider-Verse, Elemental, Boy and the Heron. I feel good. I think that they're in.
Yes, agreed. I think Chicken Run is in. I think it'll just become a consensus thing.
I agree.
Netflix, it's Artem, and that's a good pairing. That is a very good pairing. I think here we're looking at the last place being either Wish or Super Mario Bros. And I honestly think that depends on what sort of box office Wish has. Like, if it's a box office failure, I don't
think that
it
Wish
gets
is going to be a disaster, if I'm being honest.
Exactly. I don't know. Even if it makes a lot of money and it's sort of slightly well received, I think it will get in here. If it doesn't make a lot of money,
there is also like the Golden Globes are notorious for snubbing Netflix animated films in the past.
That is true, but you've also got the Aardman factor.
Right, exactly.
Like for Aardman. Like it feels more like an Aardman film than a Netflix animation film.
Ninja Turtles, maybe.
Maybe if that becomes a thing. And anyway, yeah. I mean, Super Mario Bros. Doesn't have to happen. Critics didn't love that film. It did just make a boatload of money. So that's
right.
the argument there.
I'd kind of be leaning towards that, though. Like, looking at this Gold Derby 5, I mean, I'd be leaning towards it being the top 4 and then just Chicken Run over Wish. There's also Suzume. There's The Magician's Elephant, Nimona. Like, Nimona would be the type of Netflix thing that misses. Magician's Elephant, I'm unfamiliar with. Suzume, like, weirdly, though, the Golden Globes, like, they are more likely to do an international animated film than others. Like last year, they did Inuo. That was a thing.
Yeah.
And then the year before, they did My Sunny Maud over Mitchell's and the Machines, or Mitchell's with the Machine. Like they do some weird stuff in this category. And there has been
equally
Mirai,
though. Yeah, I think the categories last year and the year before that were slightly weaker than they seem to be this year. This year we seem to have quite a slate of animated films, so I don't know if there's space for something like.
And also, like you have the Boy and the Heron there to kind of fill that.
Exactly. Yeah. For sure.
So I think that would make sense, but it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Yeah. But that is our preview of the Golden Globes based off of Gold Derby. We will be doing final predictions once we get into December when the nominations are happening. But we just want to take a little brief look at these categories for now. And take a little look at the precursors before we do our updated Oscar predictions, which will be coming out over the next week after fall festivals, after everything like that. We're going to be venturing back into those, which will be interesting. But until then, you can support the strikes in the description. WJ apparently have reached an agreement, which is great. Hopefully SAG can follow suit, but you can still support those. Plus, you can follow us on social media if that is something you're interested in. So until next time, thank you everybody for watching. Stay safe and go.